Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is present.
This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who.
See? They've got great...
Yep. Paimon can tell.
If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from the...
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the...
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up.
Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on a...
All right, then, I'll let you through. The Chief just...
Thanks so much.
Please come in. It's all right. Please let...
We're looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here.
Who knew that Neuvillette would be so easy to touch?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any... There are no records of him either in the files...
Traveler? What if...
Is that so? All right, then.
Him. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly...
And what? Are you trying to console me? Extend your... No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist, you even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case. Yet you in your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing. If you truly regret my father's death, why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you do everything? Was hanging on it. There are still so many things I never got to tell. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes.
I'm sorry.
You and my father are truly... It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never oh well. In any case, everyone already knows my apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia...
I'm fine.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any...
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder...
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered in the rain. That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait.
So you're saying that the true murderer... Yeah! And if that's what had happened, then no one would...
I really think I found a true genius for a part... All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind...
Yeah! We're gonna make progress for sure this time!
Do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself? Great. Let's go then.
Whoa! What a huge ship! What? ship being...
There's no need to be so surprised. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our tastes in a gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula. Paimon was confused why a group was such a hit, but now that Paimon has seen this ship for her...
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began after... Maloose, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our... You said before that you still had some business at the court.
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You still remember, right, Maloose?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what...
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, at a glance, it was a kind of drink that could...
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety, while lacking energy to do anything. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop...
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. But no matter how much they threatened, not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth...
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret, and the man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned, but then we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the...
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at... Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the... You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past. I think this third person... On that note, however... Even though our opponent is insidious and cruel, they are extremely... Even though Spina di Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson, there is no need to follow your father's path.
If that's indeed what he wished for, was I not the closest person to him? What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage? Synth is still here. Callous the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? I've never accepted that. Ever. I want to find out the real answer forever.
Flavia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite
So you do know something else, Maloose?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that, but what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he and the serial disappearances. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. But as long as you remain safe, if something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose.
Right, so nobody would be able to...
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long...
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to...
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the...
So he chose to die in...
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to... If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to fight, I'm sure he'd be...
That fool, no. He might have set up everything precise. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my... But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really... Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share this. But if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the place is...
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious... There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no... But a single visit to their headquarters will be... The worst case would be that we leave empty...
Then, in that case, why not...
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no...
That's true. But things are different now. It should be a lot easier.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into...
I am the butler, after all. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my...
Thank you for all of that, Malus.
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that when I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, if the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. After several rounds of testing and investigative... The first is Florent, Spina di Rosso.
Huh?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusts. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our There's someone else like him, too. Marcel, the head of...
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current... In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now...
So, they're like a sister organization of...
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against... It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina... Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still... Since Thierry is always in the know about our current...
I see. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
Of course. And thank you.
You're too kind, my lady. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also... After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. If it might help, you could also pay them...
Aw, thank you so much, Malus.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth.
It is settled then. Please excuse me, and
Thank you for arranging it.
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time.
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died,
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand.
You don't understand.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know. I know. Only the full truth could bring closure.
I'm sorry. I appreciate that. On the matter regarding my husband,
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times he had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too late. So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could. But even so,
They found out.
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me.
before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized. I don't know that for sure, but you could say that's the conclusion I eventually. Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always, even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely.
But Mama, why is Papa still? Papa always wanted to be a good man.
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah, Papa was a really good man. The best in the whole.
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh,
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will definitely find the.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to hear this from you. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is.
You really think so? That's the.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. Plarat should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city.
Greetings, boss. How may I be of assistance today?
I'm sure you've heard about what happened at the Opera House.
Yeah, I've heard. With something that dramatic?
It also reminded me, on the day that the incident happened with my father, after my partner here put the dots together for me, can you do me a favor and try to recall what happened that night?
Let me think. Mr. Callis was feeling pretty upbeat that day. After that, he told us that he wanted to go get some fresh air. So my first reaction was that Mr. Callis's life was in danger. But when I got there, it was already too late.
So you also remember—
Indeed. The guards said that the first shot didn't hit anyone. Reason being, Mr. Callis had left his gun on the table. But according to the guards, that doesn't mean he couldn't have had other guns on his person. About the clothes left at the scene that you mentioned. Do you think there was a third—
At least from our perspective, my father had no reason to kill. So he would the gun he was holding probably belonged to Jacques. Or—
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're saying But hold on. If that's what— He didn't even want to face the Oratrice machine. Did he lose all faith in the courts after seeing someone dissolve right in front of his eyes?
About that, Malouse told me a thing or two. I'll tell you everything.
I understand. Then, and if I may just say one more thing. The whole Callis, many people have laughed at me for still calling him Miss, but it was Mr. Callis's trust that allowed me to rise through the ranks of Spina di Rosula. No matter what others might say, he'll always be the man.
Don't worry. I will you and all our other comrades at the Spina. It's me.
Oh, now, what?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm all...
Are you sure there isn't a little bit of truth in that? Under normal
I mean, Callus did a fantastic job running the town. Building, it would be next to impossible for me to find a similar... Anyway, enough chit...
Yes. What happened at the Opera House made us realize that Lenny's case and my...
Ah, I get it. You think there might be more to the case now that we know. If you want to go through the original files from your father's...
That'd be much appreciated. Thank you.
Of course. Without them, I couldn't... Why do you ask? We definitely can't.
Well, you see, just recently... So... if you, hypothetically, wanted to do something against me...
Then you think too highly of my... If I had to make an analogy, when you order a dish, the chef will make it for you. If you try to make unreasonable demands, the chef would just think you're out of your mind and ignore you completely. Removing a serial number is also not as easy as you might think. There are a lot of... So I can promise you, those mecha were they're certainly not cheap. So, whoever their owner is must be super rich, powerful, or both.
Oh, then you're officially in the clear, Thierry.
Oh, jokes aside, I'll be staying in the city for a little while, so...
Hello. How may I help you? I'm here to see Marcel. Could you please let him know? Sure. I will let him know right away.
Navia, hello. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm not as young as I used to be, so my legs are...
Oh, it's all right, Uncle Marcel. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about what happened in...
Yes,
Oh, you...
That's right. I went there with Navia to see the magic show. I also witnessed your marvelous sleuthing work. To beat the Hydro Archon at her own game on her own turf, I can
Oh, Paimon doesn't want to...
Apologies. It's just how Fontaine is as a nation.
Uncle Marcel, you've also noticed that other thing.
Yes, I was reminded of your father's case right away.
Exactly. I still don't have much solid...
Oh, and...
We were attacked on Araneus by some unnumbered Gardamex. And there was also an attempt to get me to drink. If not for the vigilance of my partner, I probably...
Oh, you're giving us too much credit.
Alas, it seems things are heating up again. But rest assured, Navia, Poisson will always remain a safe haven for you. If anyone dares to lay their hands on you there, the Confrérie of Cabrières will use its fund...
Thank you, Uncle Marcel. But do you have any new thoughts on my father's case?
About that. Sorry, my age. The Confrérie was responsible for that banquet. So I was out and about the whole time, making sure things were running smooth. Then I heard the sound of a gunshot.
Oh, it's okay. No need to push yourself.
Sounds good. Just let me know. All my wealth comes from Callus's patronage and support. I'll spend however much it...
We've talked to all three suspects, purely based on...
None of them sounded particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's still compile.
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Florent mentioned that Callus probably only ended up...
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss.
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the... Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a... Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the...
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd fall...
Given everything that's happened since... But who among the 3 suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also have... Still really hard for me to imagine. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth business? Florent? But as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a...
Exactly. He can't. And even if he could, I don't think he would be a... Thierry, you say? But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us about the mecha.
Yeah. Had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be able to... If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Who could it be? You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning it...
Malus has always been very reliable, and his judgment of others' trustworthiness has been fair, and what the suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Marcel.
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus did say that charging straight in there we need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking...
Huh? Aren't you the...
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left.
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called...
What?
Yeah, we know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind...
Wait, how? None of...
That's what I thought was strange about it, so I came to... If the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support...
Right, because they'll think they've already...
Yeah, and it'll be a lot harder.
I understand. Huh? Split up? What do you mean? Just since this is a trial about the serial disappearances case, You're right. This is our best opportunity. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to...
We'll help you. Just...
Mademoiselle, please allow us to accompany.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you...
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson. It's our hope that your confidence...
Thank you so much. Then...
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over.